The sun has risen every day of your life, warm and steady and eternal. But the sun is not eternal. Right now, it is slowly dying. And one day, it will destroy the earth completely. This is the story of how our star will live and how it will die. The sun is a colossal ball of superhot glowing gas called plasma. You could fit over 1 million Earths inside it. Yet among the stars, our sun is really quite ordinary. It was born 4.5 billion years ago from a collapsing cloud of gas. Today it sits right in the middle of its long life. All its power comes from deep in its core. There, hydrogen atoms are crushed together to form helium. The sun fuses 600 million tons of hydrogen every single second. A sliver of that matter becomes pure energy and sunlight. That energy pushes outward, fighting gravity's crush inward. For billions of years, those two forces have held a perfect balance. That balance is why the sun has shone so steadily, and why we are here. But the sun is not truly unchanging. It is slowly getting brighter. Every billion years, it grows a little hotter and more luminous. In about 1 billion years, the sun will be too hot for our oceans. The seas will boil away, and Earth will become a scorched desert. Life on the surface will end long before the sun itself dies. Then, in around 5 billion years, the core runs out of hydrogen. The core fills with helium ash it cannot yet burn. With nothing to hold it up, the core begins to squeeze and heat. Around that dead core, a shell of hydrogen roars into flame. This new furnace makes the sun's outer layers billow outward. As they expand, they cool, and the surface glows an angry red. Our sun is becoming a red giant. It will swell to hundreds of times its size today. First, it will swallow the innermost planet, Mercury. Then it will engulf Venus, and its glowing edge will reach out toward the Earth. Our planet may be swallowed or left as a burnt cinder. Either way, the Earth we know will be utterly destroyed. The red giant will be vast, but bloated and unstable. It will shed streams of gas into space as a slow stellar wind. Deep inside, the dead helium core keeps shrinking and heating. Finally, it reaches 100 million degrees. In a sudden runaway, the helium core ignites at once. Now helium fuses into carbon and oxygen, the ash of a dying star. For a while, the sun steadies, burning helium in its core. But helium burns fast, and a core of carbon and oxygen grows. Once the helium runs out, the sun swells and pulses again. Its core of carbon and oxygen will never get hot enough to burn. And here our sun's story turns gentle. It will not explode. Only stars far heavier than the sun die in a supernova blast. Our sun is simply too light for such a violent end. Instead, in gentle pulses, it will cast off its outer layers. Shell after shell of glowing gas will drift out into space. The exposed, hot core lights that gas up from within. The result is a breathtaking glowing cloud, a planetary nebula. For a few thousand years, the sun's grave will be one of the galaxy's jewels. But the nebula will slowly fade and scatter into the dark. At its heart, only the naked core remains, a white dwarf. This ember is packed into a ball no bigger than the Earth. A single spoonful of it would weigh as much as an elephant. It makes no new energy, it simply glows with leftover heat. And across the ages, that ember will slowly cool. It will take trillions of years to fade completely. At the very end, it becomes a cold, dark cinder, a black dwarf. The universe is still too young for a single one to exist. That is the entire life of our sun, from birth to final darkness. But how can we possibly know the future of a star? Because the sky is filled with billions of other stars, and they are all at different moments in their lives. Plotting them reveals a map of how stars are born, live and die. We can see every chapter of the sun's future playing out right now. Red giants like Betelgeuse show us the sun's swollen future. Glowing rings like this one show a sun-like star that has just died. And faint white dwarfs like Sirius B are the embers left behind. Piece by piece, the stars themselves reveal our sun's destiny. For now, though, the sun burns on, calm and bright. Its dramatic death lies billions of years away. That is almost unimaginably longer than humans have existed. Long before then, our descendants may have journeyed to other stars. The sun's end need not be the end of us. So tomorrow, when the sun rises, look up with a little wonder. It is a star in the prime of its life, quietly keeping you alive. And it will keep shining for billions of years to come. If you enjoy this kind of deep science, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.